Welcome to the Healthy Vibes podcast. I'm Kelly Renato, a mom of two with a passion for helping you live well and have the courage to show up for yourself and your family. My goal each week is to give you a quick dose of courage and empower you to pause more, slow down, and not feel pressured or distracted by this world, and to remember that you always have a choice. I'm so grateful you're here. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome to the Healthy Vibes podcast. I'm Kelly Renato, and thank you so much for sharing your time with me today for a quick bit of encouragement. And I hope it just makes you think this week and maybe changes your perspective on things. So this week, I want to talk about balance. And I really feel like it's really not about balance, but that word has always made me a little uncertain when you'd say, well, just, it's kind of balancing your life, balancing your health choices. You just got to get it all into balance. And I think never, ever have I felt balanced. Like I had everything, all my choices balanced, meaning family, friends, health, workouts. Balance is extremely hard to achieve. And I heard someone say recently, I think it was from a She Works His Way podcast, but they said it's not about balance, it's about order. And I thought I really liked the way they said that, because really order is about priorities. It's about what you're doing first, what you're filling your time with first. So it's not really about balance, but it's about your priorities. So because we never quite get balanced and we feel crazy because we're never in balance. But if you think priorities, I think of it like if you've ever heard of the book, How Full Is Your Bucket, I think it's called. I read it to my kids when they were little, and about filling your bucket with the right things to make you feel good. And that's kind of how I think about my day. I prioritize when I start my day of filling my bucket with as many good things as possible, like filling my time with all the right things. And I do it as I start my day because I know that every single day, at some point, I'll get off track. I'll get distracted. Something takes you in a direction you weren't planned. I remember when I took back in the day, the Franklin Covey seminar, I believe it was, and they had you track like your minutes and how many minutes you were distracted during the day. And I just feel like as long as you know, at some point you're going to get distracted, but start your day with prioritize your time at the beginning of your day so that you start your day filling your bucket with as many good things as possible. And some days it's almost a challenge to me to see how many good things I can get in my bucket before lunchtime or before everyone gets up. It just depends on the day because every day's different. But like I think to myself, in the morning, if I spend time with God, or I read, I do my devotion, maybe I exercise, maybe I just get quiet time. I try to get outside in nature. Sometimes when I first get up, if I take my dogs out or I take my dogs for a walk. And sometimes in the morning, I'm trying to get something done that I have to get done for work or something else. And that also can fill me up because if I have things on my list that I need to get done. So I feel that I like the way they said it. It's not about balance. It's about order. What are you putting first in your life? Are you putting God first? Because make sure if that's important to you, that He's first. Is taking care of your health important to you? Then if it is, make sure that is before something else that's not as important to you. Do you have a side hustle that you're chasing? Is that important to you? Then make sure you're putting that before something else. Your family, is your family very important to you? Make sure you're putting your family in front of something else that's not as important to you. So prioritize your time and look at your time and don't beat yourself up. But I think it's really, really easy to put things in front of things that are really important to us, what we value, what matters to us. The world pulls us in all the wrong directions. It's just so easy, and it's easy for us just to be taken. The phone rings, so you answer it, and it takes you away from your quiet time, right? Or someone calls and they need you to do this, and you had planned to do something with your family or your husband. So whatever it is, just keep your priorities in check. Keep your life in order. Just remember, am I putting God first of the most important things? Because that is really easy to get sidetracked. Am I taking care of myself first? I talked recently about when you're in a hard season, or you're in, like, this last few weeks of my life has been crazy busy. There's been emotional things going on. There's been really hard things going on, but there also were a whole lot of commitments that we had to do. Like, there was no, like, I'm not up for it today. And the only way that I'm able to keep showing up in a busy, hard, emotional season is keeping my life in order. Meaning I don't ignore my God time, even though it's busy. I continue to work out because I know that keeps me sane. That's my sanity. I do my best to get my rest because I know when I'm exhausted, I'm not a nice, good person. I'm very impatient. So I keep my life really in order when I'm in a busy, hard season. And I try to on a regular basis. But yes, I get off track. But if I'm keeping my most important things, the main things in my life every day, the very few, like with me, it's God, family, my health. If I'm keeping those in order before anything else gets my time, I'm going to be okay. But when I get off track, that's when things end up not being okay. So just think about this week. It's not really about balance. It's about order. It's about priorities. And are you keeping the most important things first in your life? So fill your bucket at the beginning of the day. I want you to think about this week. Fill it with as much good stuff as you can at the beginning of the day. And make your list. What's your most important things that you want to make sure you don't miss? And keep those first in your life. Make those the first things you get done. And just make sure you remember those are the important things. Those are what matters most. And that's what you want to fill your day with. And the good thing is, if you do that first, keep it in order, keep your priorities first. If you get sidetracked later in the day, which is if you're a mom, if you have a family, you have kids, you have a job, whatever it is, you're going to get distracted. But the good thing is, if you kept those things first in the beginning of the day, you're going to be better off than you would if you didn't prioritize right when your day starts. So fill that bucket first thing with what matters most. So I hope this helps shift your perspective. Think about your priorities this week. Keep them in order, and just kind of see where you've been off, where maybe you haven't been putting them first. And just be honest with yourself. And being aware and paying attention is like a game changer. Just pay attention. Sometimes I feel like our life we can wake up and it can just take us away, like totally distract us, and our days just like cycle. So when you wake up, give yourself a little bit of time so you can stop and prioritize your day. So I hope you have the best week. Thank you for spending your time. If you haven't yet, go to my website and sign up for my Sunday email, where I send a little bit of encouragement, kind of tell you what's been going on, what I've seen in life, something that's made a difference in my life during the week. It's kellyrenato.com. And if you haven't checked out my new YouTube channel, same thing, Kelly Renato, and I do little clips over there for encouragement. So I hope you follow along, and thank you for being here. Have a great week.